Hi, I'm Cliff, and this is my garage, and I have managed to melt part of my Cayman again. Hey, welcome back to the garage. And if this is your first time joining me, thanks for dropping by. So, about 7 weeks ago, I installed new wheels on the Cayman from Variant Wheels. And if you didn't see that episode, I'll put a link up here in this corner to that episode where I installed the wheels. Absolutely love the wheels. They've been fantastic. I've been using them on the road. I used them a lot on the track a couple weekends ago. Absolutely love things. Variant Wheels has been a fantastic company to work with. I highly, highly recommend them. Go check out their website at variantwheels.com. They have a whole ton of different cool designs, and you can customize them to a great extent to match exactly your vision for your car. Now, if you do that, make sure to use the promo code Cliff Sent Me. That will get you 20% off your entire purchase and free shipping. So don't forget that promo code. Cliff Sent Me. After my high performance driver education event at Sebring International Raceway a couple of weeks ago, I started getting ready to install the catless race headers from Soul Performance onto the Cayman. And step one was to remove the rear wheels off of the Cayman. And so I put it up on the lift a little bit, got it off the ground, removed the wheel bolts like normal, and the wheel didn't move. And I mean, not at all. Normally, it's a fairly tight fit onto the hub centering ring, but usually there's a little bit of a shift. And I thought that was kind of odd. Okay, whatever. I reached up, just wiggled the wheels like I normally would, and they didn't move. In fact, I began yanking and tugging and trying to, bang on the back side of the tire with a rubber mallet. These things weren't coming off, and I started to get really worried. I couldn't figure out what on earth I could have possibly done. So it took about 5 minutes per wheel of banging and yanking and slowly wiggling. Finally, I managed to get the wheels off. And that's when I discovered what had happened. Now, as I mentioned in the episode on these variant wheels, the minimum bore size or opening here in the center of the wheel is slightly larger than the bore required for the hubs on the Cayman. And the way you take care of that is with a hub centering ring. A hub centering ring is just a small ring that fills the gap in between the hub on the car and the bore opening on the wheel. Now, in this case, this is only just a little over a millimeter thick. There's just a very, very small difference, but it's an important difference. And if you don't use hub centering rings, you're going to be ever so slightly off center, and you're going to get vibration. The hub centering ring is very simple to use. You just push it into place inside the opening for the bore on the wheel. And it's a nice tight fit, of course. And now this keeps the wheel centered directly on the hub. The hub centering rings are a very simple part, easy to install, but they are very, very important and make a huge difference in the performance of the wheels on your car, especially on the front end. You're going to get a lot of vibration in your steering wheel if your wheels are not perfectly centered on the wheel hubs. The centering rings that Variant provided were from Coyote, a perfectly fine brand, and there was nothing wrong with these rings. But they were designed for your average user, and they're made out of plastic. When I finally got the wheels off, this is what I found. Now, I'm not sure how well this is coming across on the camera, but what had happened was when I went to the driver education event, apparently the heat from the braking melted the centering rings and caused them to like shrink wrap themselves down onto the hub. Now, this is not surprising because brake temperatures in a track environment far exceed what you're going to see on the street. Just as an example, here at Sebring, I'm doing around 110 to 115 miles an hour by the time I reach this bridge. And then I have to drop down to around 40 miles an hour by the time I reach the turn-in point for turn 7, which means I need to bleed off around 70 miles an hour of speed in just a little over 500 feet. So as you can imagine, this puts a lot of stress onto the brakes and causes them to heat up quite significantly. So I'm presuming what happened here is that the heat not only caused this to melt and shrink up, but also to form a really strong airtight gap in between the ring and the wheel, which is what made it so doggone difficult to get off. In fact, I'm not even sure how hard this is going to be to get this ring off of this hub. I'm not sure whether it's welded itself on or not. So let me go get a screwdriver and see what we can do. All right, hopefully this is just gonna pry right off. Oh, yeah, it's coming. I probably could cut it, but there we go. Okay, that's that's quite a sight. I sent some photos of what happened to the guys at Variant, and they were like, "Wow, we've never seen somebody melt the rings before." The ultimate solution to all this is to use aluminum rings instead of plastic ones. Now, they do make them and they're quite easy to find, except for these. They're so thin that I had a really difficult time finding someone who made them in aluminum. Like I was saying, they're only a little over a millimeter thick. And so that's kind of hard, I guess, to manufacture. I finally tracked down a company on eBay, of all places, out of Australia, and it's going to be a couple of weeks, but I've got 2 full sets of rings coming so that I've got some spares in case something goes wrong with them. Now, before you go down there and smash that like button and feed that YouTube algorithm. I can't tell you how much it helps with growing the channel and getting my videos suggested more on YouTube. And if you're not one of my now more than 3,700 subscribers, please go down there, find that big red subscribe button and give it a click. It doesn't cost a thing and it doesn't hurt a bit. And finally, if you want to keep up with everything I'm doing here in the garage, including all the progress that's about to happen on Project 987.2, and I guess some of the unfortunate mishaps that are going to happen along the way, go down there and click on that bell icon. That turns on notifications for this channel, and that way YouTube will let you know every time that I post something new from here in Cliff's Garage. I'll see you next time.